welcome to my home and welcome to my YouTube channel. I've recently changed the name of my channel, so I'm now Yoga Eve Vinyasa Flow, and if you enjoyed today's class then please just press the subscribe button and you can join in with lots more classes with me, hopefully. And if you are a returning student then thanks for coming back. Okay, so today's class is a Vinyasa. And I have tried to bring in a fairly sneaky way some yoga drills, and the yoga drills are just yoga poses that we repeat several times, sometimes 3, sometimes 5, sometimes 8, and you can be selective, you can be inclusive. So if you choose to be selective and that you think, well, actually, you know, maybe I won't do as many of those drills as she's asking me to, because I'm only suggesting, then you maybe hold the pose a little bit longer, or you come out of it, you take a child's pose. And if you choose to be inclusive, you can come with me and you can work your way through this entire practice. We will get warm, we will get a little sweaty, but we will get stronger, and hopefully we will have a little bit of fun along the way. So without any more chat, make sure you have any equipment you need, if you need water, anything that gives your practice a little bit of confidence and a little bit of a boost. And we're going to come into a child's pose at the back of our mat. And I'm going to choose to be at this end of my mat today. So nice and long in child's pose. And just allowing your head to bow. And maybe we could even think about our first drill, you know, of just using 5 breaths. 5 slow, calm, mindful breaths. Just to set our intention for our practice, to clear our mind of our day, whether our day is ahead of us. For me it is, it's morning here, it's a Sunday morning, and it's actually Mother's Day here today. Or whether it's evening for you and your day's behind you. Your practice will be different whether it's morning or evening. Obviously your body responds differently, and when we're working through the drills, if it is morning like it is here for me, just to see how you go. Or maybe you choose to be selective. And then as you find your next exhale, let's come up onto our knees and our hands. So just nice easy tabletop position, and as you exhale next, we're just going to round into the top of the cat spine. And just notice how it feels as we stretch the back, feeling the skin on the back stretching, the shoulders opening, the neck releasing. And then sitting back into child's pose again. And from your child's pose, coming over the top of your cat spine. Easy. And sitting back to your child's pose. Exhale. Let's do that again. Over the top of our cat. And then nice easy back to our child's pose. Now one more of those, as you come over the top of your cat spine, you can either go back to your child's, or you could just drop down into a little bit of a high cobra and just see how it feels as we explore our first back bend. And then sit back to your child's, and if that back bend feels a little bit too much, you know, you could always take a cat-cow as a variation. But if life feels okay with that, we come over the top of our cat spine and we just drop in our hips down, and we're finding our high cobra, nothing too big in the back bends here. And then back into your child's pose. And let's do that again. So no pace, just a nice feeling of movement, like a wave. Think about how a wave comes in and crashes in the ocean, and then it just drifts back in almost like a lazy, lethargic way. And let's do one more. And there's the top of our wave. Inhale. And here's our lazy retreat. Back into the ocean, exhale. Coming up onto your hands and knees and just finding your first plank, and if it feels too strong for you, early practice, then your knees can also be on the ground. And then just holding this high plank and pushing the ground away from you. So even though you feel that your hands are anchoring you, anchors that are into the ground, everything else starts to drift away from that. So drift away from that feeling. And strong into your legs, belly draws to your spine, pushing back to your first downward facing dog. And we can just move around in that down facing dog however we wish, whatever feels good. And we'll sway around through the hips, the hamstrings, the neck, the shoulders. Just feel like you've got your favourite song on the radio and you're just having a little sway around to that. And then gently pressing down through the heels, spreading the weight through the hands, coming into your high plank. And then pushing back to your down facing dog. Let's see if we can sort of bring in that feeling of that cat spine as well. That wave, coming over the top of that wave into our high plank. And then in return, pushing back over the wave and down dog. Not that I've ever seen anyone go backwards over a wave, but you never know. Come forwards into your plank and push back to your down facing dog. And that felt really nice. Let's do one more of those if you can. So into your high plank and then back to your down facing dog. So just checking your form in your down facing dog, your legs around about hip distance and your arms around about shoulder width. Nice broad feeling across the shoulders and a nice relaxed feeling about your neck. In fact, be relaxed about the entire practice if you can, even when we're working a little hard. And then we're just going to take our right leg off the mat, bend the knee, and just feel that inner thigh from the hip all the way up to the tip of the knee as you push your heel down and you squeeze your knee a little higher. Bring that right foot outside of your right hand and come into a lizard lunge. And then if it's possible, just drop your hips a little bit lower. But then take that leg back up into your three-limb down facing dog and just bend your knee again. And let's do that again. So your foot comes outside of your hand, and as you drop your hips down, just notice how they feel, and then pushing that leg back into your three-limb down facing dog. And we carry on, right leg bends. Foot outside of your hand, lizard lunge, and our hips just sink a little bit deeper. And then we push that leg back to our three-limb down facing dog, and we do one more of those. Spreading that foot outside of your right hand, dropping your hips, warming them up, and then back to your three-limb down dog, a little kick of the ceiling or the sky, and back to down facing dog. And just have a little pedal out again, like your favourite song was on the radio. And then gently just pause in there. Left leg leaves the mat, so let's take a little pause as we bend the knee and just explore that feeling from the hip to the tip of the knee. You can even have a little look under your armpit. And then bring that foot outside of your hands. Left to right, how does it feel? Can you get your hips still down on this left side? And then lift that leg back. And just feel like it's just one continual move, bending the knee. Foot outside of hand, hips are dropping down a little bit, and then back into our three-limb down dog, and we carry on. Knee bends, foot to hand, hips are low, leg returns. One more of those. Think about your breath, foot to hand, and exhale down into those hips, and inhale back. Little kick of the ceiling or the sky, and downward facing dog. We've been on our hands quite a while, so let's walk our feet, step or jump, top of your mat, and bring your feet outside of your hands. Bend both knees and come into a little Malasana squat. So if you're being selective, you know, you could just take Malasana, it could be down here with me quite deep, or you could always come up a little higher and just rest your arms on your thighs, or you could always just take a wide child's pose as well if that suits you. Or we carry on, so we're going to find our Malasana, lift our chest nice and tall, and then as you exhale, find a forward fold, Uttanasana. And let your head bow and let your shoulders relax, and then come back to that Malasana. So there's our next drill. We're just going to move through Malasana, Uttanasana. So exhale as you stand into your Uttanasana, and inhale, drop into Malasana. Keep it going at your pace. Inhale and exhale. We've got about 3 or 4 more of these. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's do one more complete. Inhale, exhale, and then they're done for a while. And then just take a Tanasana, forward fold, turn your toes to face the back of your wrists or hands, and bend your knees, and you could just be a ragdoll here. Nice and relaxed with your shoulders. Maybe you want to move your hands around your wrists a little bit. We were in on our hands for a little while at the beginning there. Draw your navel to your spine. Inhale, your hands come to your shin bones and shine your heart forward. Exhale, come back to your forward fold with straight or as much knee bend as you need. Inhale your hands to your shin bones, bring your heart forward again, bringing your arms all the way above your head and stamping your feet together. So we're going to hold our left wrist with our thumb and our index finger, and we're going to just gently draw that left side up. We're going to take our left foot and cross it behind our right foot as tightly as you feel confident. So your balance maybe is a little bit sort of challenged there. And then we're gently going to move over to the right side, trying to push fairly equally into both right and left foot, even though they feel a bit odd. And then come back to centre. Try that again, but see if you can go just a wee bit further, just a tiny bit further, and maybe push your hips slightly the other way. And then come back to centre. Let's go one more the same. And if you're a little cautious, not so far, but if you're a little bolder, go a little bit further. And then as you come up, take a lovely stretch up. Keep the legs crossed as you fold over your legs. Feels strange, doesn't it? Bring your hands to the mat, let your head bow to your legs. Take a breath in, lift the chest again, back is flat. We're going to take our left leg crossed behind our right and take it out behind us. So we're not sort of aiming to getting right up into standing splits, and you can if you wish, but we want to get some activity going as we stretch through both right and left leg. And drawing your navel to spine, still feel like you're shining your heart forward. Bending both knees, bringing your left knee to the back of your right calf, curtsy squat. And then sending that leg back up as if you're going to kick the ceiling or your sky or maybe just the wall. We go a little bit quicker for 8. So we lower and we lift. Here's 2 and lift. Keep it going. 3 and lift. Exhale 4 and lift. Here's 5 and 6. Can you do 2 more with me? And 7 and 8. So finish with the leg lifted, standing splits. Have a look at the back of the mat and a big step back on that left foot, coming into a high lunge. From your high lunge, making sure you've got good anchoring into both your right and your left leg. Let's come up into our high crescent lunge pose. So I want to feel the sides of the body beginning to lengthen. Our first standing pose maybe. And as we're warmer in our hips and legs already, perhaps we can go a little deeper into the legs. So you can do what you wish with your hands. They can stay above you. You can bring them to your chest into prayer with me. You can place them on your hips if it helps your balance. Wherever your hands wish to go. We're going to start to bend our back knee now. So gently down with that back knee. And then back to our lunge. We're going to do 8 of those as well, as many as you can. So it's 8 and 7, very tight, chest lifted, pelvis tucked into that neutral, and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2. Then pause there on 1, so hold the knee down, raise the arms up first, and then come back to your lunge next. Bring your hands either side of your front foot. And as you step your left foot back, cross it behind your right again. But then just have a little walk around with your hands to where your left foot was. And you get this delightful stretch that runs all the way up the outside of your right hip and leg, where you feel like you've worked it out just a little bit. And then sweep your hands back to centre. Come halfway, heart is forward. Both feet pushing into your mat, reaching your arms all the way above your head. And as you bring your hands back to your hips or to your heart, just release that left leg from behind your right. Take your right foot, tuck it behind your left. Get comfortable and confident with your balance. Take your arms above your head. We're going to catch our right wrist with our thumb and index finger. And gently draw up through that right side. Exhale. As you pull over to that side and centre. Let's go again. Exhale, arms are framing the head. And centre. One more. If you've got the confidence, just to push your hips a little further. Exhale. Reach your arms, your sides a little further. Inhale, come back to centre. Let the arms come down by the sides. And just fold over those cross legs. Just bowing your head. Gazes to your shins. Inhale, lift your chest, heart coming forward. Taking your right leg from behind you and just stretching it out as high as you wish. Whatever feels that you're working strongly through both right and left leg. Bending your left knee into your curtsy squat, chest stay lifted. And then slowly up. We do 8 of those up to. Exhale. Inhale. Nice deep knee bends. So get a little bit of work going on in that glute muscle. Incredibly strengthening for your legs. And we have, oh, is it 4 more? I think 4. Stop chatting, Eve. 3, 2, and 1. Finish with that leg extended. Look back to where you're going to take your foot and step it back. You might have to just have a couple of little goes until you get it where you want to. And then once it's there, remember to really use your right back leg as well as your front leg and find your crescent lunge. Reaching tall through your spine. Legs are super warm so they can go deeper. Might not feel like they want to, but they certainly can. And then hands can stay there. They can come to your chest. They can rest on your hips. Little dip down of that back right knee. And back to lunge. 8 times. 8 and 7. You can graze or you can touch the mat. And 5 and 4. I know my counting's not great. And 3 and 2. I'm going to hover it there on 1. Reach the arms up first and return to our lunge next. Bringing your hands either side of your front leg, and as you step your back foot in, oh thank goodness, cross it behind your left and walk around to the space where your foot is going to go back to where it was. Little stretch all the way down the outside of that left hip and glutes. Nice calm exhale here. Oh, sound feels nice. Hands coming back to the top of your mat and then just coming all the way up. Reaching the arms, pushing down into both feet. And as you come back with your hands to your sides or your chest, bring your feet back to Tadasana. So taking a breath in, extending both arms up. Let's take a Vinyasa. Exhale, fold forward into Uttanasana. Inhale, lift the chest to gaze. Take a step or a jump to plank. Come down onto your belly or halfway and find Cobra or Up Dog. And Downward Facing Dog. Exhale. Let's do 2 more of those. So let's take our Down Dog to our plank. Chaturanga all to the mat. Inhale, Up Facing Dog or Cobra. Exhale, Downward Facing Dog. 1 more with me if you can. Through to your plank. Chaturanga. Into Up Dog. Exhale, Down Dog. Are we warm? Okay, so back to our Down Dog. Maybe we want to feel again like our favourite song's on and we just need to move around, or perhaps we feel and we choose just to hold this time. Taking your right leg off the mat. Bending your knee heel to bottom. Bringing your knee to your opposite elbow. And then to your same elbow. But then back to your opposite elbow. And then back to your same elbow. And back to 3-limb down dog. Inhale. We do that 1 more time. Knee to opposite elbow. To same elbow. To opposite. To same. 3-limb dog. Inhale. And then step your foot in between your hands. Exhale, bring your back foot around to the ground. And as you windmill your arms up, come up into a Warrior 2. Oh, nice. Warrior 2 feels so nice, doesn't it? So let's just settle into Warrior. Think about your form. Feeling that your inner thigh is still awake. And that your back leg and your glute is still feeling strong. So nice, easy set of drills here. Right arm rests on your thigh, left arm above you. And then exhale, just like we did in our lizard lunge. Just see if you can sink a little lower. And then back to your warrior two. Let's keep those going. So inhale, exhale, inhale. 3 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale. 2 more. Side angle, we drop, warrior two. Last one, a little hold. If you like to go deeper, your hand can come to your leg or your mat. You can leave your left arm above you, or you can enjoy a lovely stretch out and reach that left arm over you, keeping your underneath waist lifted, and that sharp diagonal line from your foot, which is your anchor, to your fingertips, which is your flight. And then gently back to your warrior two. Exhale. Let's reverse our warrior. And as we reverse our warrior, just straighten your right leg out, flush it out a little bit, and then turn your feet to face forwards and bring your hands into your hips. Wide forward fold. Just let your body come down. So always little pauses, little times to get our energy back, just to get a little bit of blood flow flushing through those muscles. Just relaxing your head, giving yourself a moment here. You could stay here if you choose to be selective. Or inhale, come flat back halfway. Leave your left hand on your mat and just take your right arm up. So we're twisting through our waist as we look up with our heart, with our eyes. And then bring your right hand down and take your left hand up and twist this way too. And we're just going to move seamlessly through our breath here. Just 3 times each side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. That lovely squeeze detox into your waist. And exhale. Inhale and exhale. 1 more each side. And exhale. Inhale and exhale. Both hands coming back to a tabletop. Heart is forward. Taking your arms out wide to the side so as you come up to standing, you look like a star. Turn your right foot out, come back to your warrior two. Your left arm comes over to meet your hands frame your foot. And as you step back to plank, you can either just take a pause in child's, or we're going to lift our left foot and place it on top of our right heel. And 5 little yogi press ups. Inhale, exhale, 1's done. And 2, halfway, and 3, 2 to go. Inhale, exhale, inhale, there's our 5. Lift, place your left foot back on the floor and your vinyasa. Through chaturanga or mat, up dog or cobra, and back to your downward facing dog. Exhale, oh amazing, well done. So just taking a moment in your down facing dog, I'm just going to quickly switch ends on my mat. And then from your down facing dog, we do it all on the left side. Left leg leaves the mat. Little weave open of that hip. Knee to opposite elbow. To same elbow. Your core is getting stronger. To your opposite elbow. To your same elbow. Send that leg high. Inhale. 1 more time the same, to opposite elbow, and to same, and to opposite, and to same. Through the down dog, inhale, breath, and sweep that foot between your hands. Who holds their breath when they do that? I must say that I am quite often guilty of that. Back foot to the floor, and then windmill your arms up, and find that lovely, almost feeling of release. Dare I say relief, when we get to our warrior two. So a nice easy breezy set of drills here. Left arm rests on your thigh, right arm above you, a little sink into those hips, and back to your warrior two. So just lightly resting on your thighs. If it was really hot, we're not relying on it like a big shelf, like a bookshelf. Let's just keep them going. Inhale, exhale, inhale. I think 2 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale. 1 more. If you remember, we just took a little hold here. You can stay as you are. You can reach a bit further to the ground. You can hold your right arm above you, or you can reach it out beyond you. That lovely feeling that you get that runs from your foot and your mat to your fingertips. Stretching is such a lovely feeling, and our bodies crave space. Can you drop our hips a little lower and come back to your warrior two? Perfect. Reverse your warrior. Straighten your left leg. Turn your feet to face forwards. Now this time turn your feet out to the two corners of your mat. Both arms coming above the head. Turn the palms inside out and drop into your goddess pose. Now I want to feel a little bit of oppositions going on through this set of drills, because there's quite a few of them. There's 16 of them. And I want you to feel like you're drawing up strongly, as if you want to touch the ceiling or the sky with your palms. But then I want you to sink deep into your hips, as if there's like a magnet pulling your hips down. So our back muscles will really, really thank us. And then belly nice and engaged. We start to pulse. Tiny, tiny little pulses. Now I said the number 16 is sort of a guide, because I sort of get lost along the way with my counts. In fact, let's start the counting from now. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, again. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold. A little lower, can we go a little lower? Reach those hands a little taller, and then straighten out the legs. Oh, thank you, Eve. Right foot turns in, left foot turns out. Warrior two. Bring your right arm over to meet your left. Step back to your plank. So those of you choosing to be a little selective, maybe take a child's pose. There's not a lot of resting in this class today. Or just let your right foot just tuck on top of your left. And your last set of yogi press ups. Inhale, exhale, 2. So belly tucked in. Best thing I heard once was tummy away from t-shirt. Last one, so hold that tummy away from your t-shirt. Place your foot back on the floor. And Vinyasa. Up dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. Exhale. Oh, amazing. We're just going to walk our hands back to our feet. It's like a standing up child's pose. And while we're here, we can just take whatever we need from this. If you need to just quickly have a sip of water, or if you need to quickly take a layer off, you can do that while you're here, or you could just let that breath come back to a balance. In through the nose, and maybe out through the mouth. Perfect. Just one more breath here. Perhaps a little sway, move around through the neck. Just going to stroll our hands back out to our down facing dog. And then as you take your gaze forward, bend your knees, take a little stretch back to your thighs. It's the first one of these actually today. We're going to step or jump our feet back to the top of our mat, back to our hands. Shine your heart forward, inhale, and fold to your legs, exhale. Wiggle the feet and knees together, and as you lift your chest, bend both knees. Make prayer hands on the ground in front of you or towards the ground. Keep your chest lifted away from your thighs, and as you inhale, make another prayer hands above your head. So big wide open circles as your hands come to prayer underneath you, and then inhale above you and lower. Let's do 3 more of those. Reaching up and down. Reaching up and down. Reaching up and down. And then reaching up and bringing your hands in towards your chest. We're going to stand on our right leg and lift our left foot. If you have like a popper, holding your knees together, popping your knees together. So in a one-legged chair pose, and my chair is very wobbly today. And then just taking that one-legged chair and reaching out into your variation of Warrior 3. So now we bring some balance in. I want you to really try and activate that left leg and stretch it out. Bend your right leg as much as you can and tuck the toes of your left foot on the floor. So we're going to target our glute as well as our balance. So we're going to lift and lower that leg for 8. 8 and 7 and 6 and 5. Belly tight. 4. Tummy away from top. 3 and 2 and 1. Now bend that knee and then just coming back into that 3-legged chair. Step your feet together. Inhale, straighten your legs. Bring your palms above your head. And maybe just bring in a tiny little back stretch here. And then just easy coming back down into that chair. Taking your right foot off the floor. Finding your balance. Maybe going a little deeper if you've got good balance. And then quietly tipping forward into your warrior 3. This is my awful side for balance, so I do apologise. As you come forward, stretching out through that back right leg, bending your left leg, and just lightly tapping the mat with your toes. 8 little leg lifts. 8, squeeze the belly. 7, squeeze the bum. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold on 1, bring that knee back in beside your right knee, back to your 3-legged wobbly chair, and then step 2 feet down. Inhale, straighten legs, arms reaching above you, tiny back bend. Let's take a vinyasa. Exhale, fold over your legs. Oh, how nice. Inhale, lift the chest, back is flat. Step or jump to your plank. Your vinyasa through chaturanga or mat. Inhale, up facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. So nice stretch back and pause. So we are getting through these drills inside of this vinyasa. We have just a few more. Last one, standing. So we're rising to our toes, a little bounce in our legs. Have a look at your hands and then jump your feet or step your feet outside of your hands so we come back to our malasana. But this time, bringing your hands into namaste, into your chest. Let's stand from there. So I don't mind if you keep your feet turned out or whether you turn your feet forward. In fact, I'm going to turn to face you for this. We're going to just find some deeper squats. So from a standing, we're just going to squat back to our malasana and straight up again. So we lower and we lift. I don't mind if the hands come to the hips. I don't mind if the hands are forward. But try and keep that feeling of posture as you move up and down so that you're not sort of collapsing your body into your legs and you're not tilting your body forward or worse back. And let's do 8 of these, and I know we've already done a lot. Let's count them. 8 and 7 and 6. We can do it. 5 and 4 and 3 and 2. Last 1 and 1. Stay there. Just gonna wobble my way back to the top of my mat. So I'm here with you. And then just let the hands come behind you. And bring your bum to the ground. Just rest your toes on the floor. Bring your arms underneath the backs of your knees for a moment. And then you can either leave your feet on the floor or you can lift them. It's just like we're sitting on the tip of our bottom and we're taking a child's pose. So just a couple more to go and then we're done. So finding your hands around the backs of your knees rather than all of your arms. Let's find our modified boat. Modified boat, legs are bent, you can hold on the whole time if you want to. You can be absolutely selective with what you do in this little boat section. However, if you can, you're going to straighten your legs out. You're going to make a steeple mudra, so your index ring and middle finger link together. Your thumb and your index finger point up at your toes. So your eyes looking at your toes and your Fingers looking at your toes. We're going to take a little twist and move our arms to one side and pause. And then we're going to move to the other side and pause. We're going to come back into the centre, lift our chest and take our hands into Namaste, into our chest, or you can bring them behind your head if you want to. We're going to bend our right knee and just lower our left leg down slightly. So we have little sort of cycling legs, little crisscross legs. Before we twist, we're just going to change legs. And I want you to sort of think about if you were on your bike and you were cycling, that you're uphill cycling, so there's a little pressure. If you're on your spin bike, you've got that dial pushed right up to full pressure for 4, 3, 2, now twist opposite shoulder to knee, and the other side. And one more at that pace. And one more. And if you're inclusive, 8 singles. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Catch the backs of the legs, pull up. Find your bow pose hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hug the knees in on 1 and roll to your backs. Bringing your knees into your chest. Oh guys, how nice does that feel? A little massage for the back. Then pause in your practice. We have, what do we have? We have 2 more drills. A few more minutes. So we're going to catch hold of our right knee and take our left leg to the ground. And maybe while we're holding this right knee, just give it a little circle and move around. Go both ways. Again, that breath coming back to balance, our muscles just releasing a little bit. And then just take your right leg up to the ceiling or the sky. I offer that you find a big toe hold if you wish. You grab your strap if you need to. You hold the back of your calf. You even hold the back of your thigh. Whatever works for you. But I also offer that you just hover your left leg just 1 centimetre off the ground, which starts to activate our deep lower core. We're going to leave our head on the floor, and as we gently stretch into this right leg, and if you're selective, you just stay here. Or your left leg comes up, and it's just going to tap the back of your heel before it goes back again. Now there's 8 of these, and we've done 1 already. So let's come 7 and lower, 6 and lower, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Now as you come back to your scissor legs, curl your head up off the mat. Take your hands just behind the back of your head, just to support your neck. And now your left leg stays there and your right leg is going to go down to that. So we lower and we lift. 7 more like that. 7 and 6 and 5. Back firm, belly tight. 3 to go. 3 and 2. Now on 1, bind the 2 together and 4 doubles. So we lift, lower. Lift, lower. 2 more. Lift, lower, lift, lower, and then grab those knees and head comes back to the floor. Whatever you need. It's quite nice to give the legs a bit of a circle around. It seems to get just a bit of the juices back into the hips. I don't know what you think. I think it does seem to help. And then let's just take our left leg up and our right leg out. So those of you choosing to be a little selective, a little less active, you can just hold this leg stretch back of your calf, your big toe if you want to, back of your thigh if you need to. And then if you want to move around through this leg, of course, it's your leg, it's your practice. It's that nice feeling when we know we're approaching the end of quite a strong practice as well. So if you'd like to hover your right leg just a little bit off the ground, and if you have hold of that big toe or the back of the leg, you can just carry on holding it. We're just going to bring our right foot up to tap our heel and lower. We have 7 more. Feel a little bit of resistance through this leg lift work, because if you're pushing through maybe water, and we have 4 more of these. So lift and lower for 3 and 2 and 1. Back to your scissor legs, curl your head up, look at you, are you centre? Can you really activate through both right and left leg? Hands supported the neck behind your head, and your top leg to your lower now. So we lower and lift. We have 7 more. 7. Squeeze that belly. 6. Back is firm. 5. We are smiling. 4. And 3. We are breathing. And 2. We are going to hold those 2 legs together for 4 and doubles. Lift and lower. Exhale. Inhale. 3 and 4. All the way down. Hug both knees into your chest and rest your head on the mat. Arms coming out to the side, and just taking your legs over to the side you choose to move to first. Make sure your legs touch the ground, however. If they're hovering off the mat, then you're still working out your back, your hips. Your body is still in workout mode. If you let your legs come to the ground, your body is in, oh my goodness, I need this mode. And just let your breath find your attention. Exhale as your legs come centre, and then over to the other side as well. Again, make sure the legs ground. If you just stretch them out a little bit, they will. You might have to stretch them out loads. You might not at all. Turn your head, you can close your eyes. You can feel hearing a funny little tapping sound on your sort of screens. That's just my door. It's just a little tapping from the wind. It's like a little filter, I think. I'm not sure. And then draw the legs back into centre. Hug your knees like a big bear hug. Curl your head up to meet your legs. And then from your seated top of your mat, just bring your hands to the front of your mat and step back to downward facing dog. Yeah, lovely stretch back and down facing dog. Maybe you need here. There's a moment just to hold and stretch. Or maybe you need that movement again. Whatever you feel best with. Come forward to your plank and use it as much or as little body as you want to. Come right the way down on onto your belly. Relaxing your toes, stretching your feet to the back end of your mat. Bringing your hands out to wider than your mat and make little spider fingers. And then promise yourself that you'll roll your shoulders down your back, gazes down at your mat. I always think, look at the tip of your nose. And as you inhale, lightly coming up onto those spider fingers and just finding this beautiful variation of cobra. And slowly back and down. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Now as you lower, just lower yourself down to a point where you can lift those fingertips off the mat. Take your hands so they run alongside the side line of your thighs. And if you can, lift your thighs off the mat into locust. I offer that you link your hands behind your back, draw your knuckles back towards your heels, and quite possibly that will lift you a little higher, getting your heart just to stretch open and your chest. And then lightly land the legs. Take the legs about the width of your mat, or a little wider. Not wider than your mat, but wider. Not too wide. Bend your knees. Flex your feet. And then if you can, find the tops of your ankles there and hook your feet over. If you have to go for feet, that's fine, be cautious. And if you can't find feet or ankles, you know sometimes you can always grab the back of your leggings, or you could even leave this as well. And then just roll your shoulder blades in a little bit so your arms feel like tram lines. Still with our head and gaze down. Take a breath in, push your feet into your hands and just see how you feel about lifting into bow pose. And then gently lower. And I'm not a big fan of holding bow pose. You might be, so by all means hold your bow. I quite like to move in and out of it. So our last drill, we're going to move 5 times through our breath into bow pose. Take a breath in and let's lift. And lower. Push up, inhale. And release, exhale. Active lift. And passive release. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhale. And you release, hold of the feet, stretch your legs back out, come back to your locus. Bring your arms around to your cactus arms and gently come down onto your belly. Slide your hands back by your rib cage and sit back into a child's pose. Exhale. Let your arms come along to the side of your thighs and your head bow to your mat, and just let your body feel like it's just wanting to wrap itself around itself. Your shoulders just wrapping their way around your knees. And your back just sort of feels like it's wrapping itself around your thighs. And your hips wrapping themselves around your heels. Explore your breath nice and full. Just restoring a little energy. Gently lifting up onto your heels. And then just coming around to seated. Just a nice comfortable cross leg, whatever you're comfortable in. You can always switch me off now and just find your way to Shavasana and spend as much time in Shavasana as you want to, or you can finish with me now and you can then take time in Shavasana. I really hope you enjoyed that class today. You're going to take a lovely deep roll of the shoulders back and down. Take a breath in together. Reaching those palms how high, and then bringing the hands all the way back to the heart. And namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time you spend with me. If you are enjoying my classes, then please press that subscribe button and also just leave a little bit of feedback. It'd be really nice to know what you're thinking of the classes. Anyway, I won't hold you up anymore. Have an amazing day. Have a lovely day, and I will see you all